This is Benjamin, founder of Farmagain. When you walk into your coconut farm, do you see trees like this? And do you also spend a lot of money in your farm but get very little in return? Then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to see why coconut trees become like this, the real root causes behind, and what the solutions are. How do you correct it? And to correct it, obviously we need to spend money. How do we get that? How do we correct it actually without spending our own pocket money? Instead, use the schemes available from the government and correct the problems, make your farm into a high productive farm, and then repay the money that the government gives you. Let us look at the problems first. Why the trees become like this? There are certain issues people talk about, and there are certain subtle issues people don't talk about. What people talk about? Whiteflies, you can see here. That's one of the most common issues people really worry, and they get into root feeding with the pesticides and all kinds of stuff. And then we also talk, we also hear people say the beetle issues. Recently, you would also hear a lot of people talk about wilting, more particularly Kerala wilt, and there is also apparently something called Tanjavur wilt. There are different types of wilt. These are some of the obvious things people talk about, but there are real issues beyond this. One is we can talk about the farms not having the real pollination agent. For example, each bunch in this coconut tree can have thousands and thousands and thousands of flowers, but there might be just about 10 to 50 female flowers in a bunch, while all the rest could be male flowers. What if you don't have a proper pollinating agent? That's another issue. And climate change. All of you know, in the last maybe about 10 years, the weather pattern has changed so much. Places that normally get a lot of rain stop getting rains, and places that were actually getting a lot of rains stop getting rains, and places that were dry, not getting any spell, are getting more rains. And that is a pattern we see. And also, if you look at the entire 2024 and 2025 rain history, uh, the pattern has been quite unpredictable. So this is the other issue that is less spoken about. And then the classic problems of irrigation, the nutrition management. So why is irrigation very important? Now look at this farm. You don't really see any source of irrigation. And of course, they did have a source, and you can see it here, all plucked out, thrown away. And look at this. This is what they had, and it is a tap system. And many people mistake this tap for drip. Tap is tap, it is not drip. And tap irrigation can be at best can be called as a modern version of flood irrigation, because what are you going to do with this? You're going to form a circle around the tree and then open this tap, so water flows into the circle and fills it. So basically it is a flood irrigation. And if you go around this coconut belt, Coimbatore belt, or even Tanjavur, any place, there is a misconception among people that coconut trees need 200 liters of water, 500 liters of water, whatever. Each one has a different number. And therefore, people believe this is the right method of irrigation. And therefore, 99% of the farms, coconut farms particularly, that claim to have drip irrigation actually have this. So what is the issue? The issue is, when you flood the land with this, whether you flood it actually or flood it with a tap system like this, then you are going to create an anaerobic region in the farm. The soil is going to stay saturated for a longer period of time, and in a saturated soil, or in other words, whether the soil is saturated or fully dry. I talked about saturated soil and dry soil. What is the real condition that the root zone need to be in? It is called air-water balance. There is proper balance between the amount of air that can pass through the root zone and the amount of water that is there. That means the porosity of the soil is not blocked. And in Tamil, in olden days, it is known as puttupadam. That means the soil stays together like this when you hold it. And if you try to break, it turns into plain soil like this, right? In this condition, the porosity of the soil is not blocked. So there is air passage that can pass through, which becomes very important for the microbial life in the soil, because they play a vital role in mobilizing the nutrition, whether you follow organic or inorganic. These microbes play a vital role in mobilizing the nutrition to the plants. The next root cause is nutrition management. There are farmers who think the trees really don't need anything. They don't need to be externally fed. They can mobilize all the nutrition they want from the soil. Actually, remember, most of the coconut trees today are hybrid trees, and these hybrid trees are made to produce a lot. They are not really natural trees. They are hybridized between maybe several varieties over a long period of time in order to make them produce more. And when they have to produce more, it is a simple science that they also need to be fed more. The natural minerals that are available in the soil are not going to be enough. So you have to really feed them with what they need. So if you have a coconut tree that has a genetic potential of, let's say, 250 nuts per tree per year, accordingly you have to feed them. And if you don't feed them, they are neither going to produce more, nor are they going to look healthy. I mean, look at these trees, all of them. You can see it is not healthy. I mean, in terms of number of nuts, maybe it has a few, but you can clearly see that the tree is not healthy. So nutrition management plays a vital role, absolutely vital role. And if you ignore that, you are going to have trouble. And in fact, nutrition management to some extent, to a very good extent, can also help in pest management and disease management. A healthy tree has a lot of immunity, which will keep some amount of pest away. I am not saying all pests, but the infestation ratio will be much lesser on a healthy tree compared to an unhealthy tree. So it is important for us to keep our trees extremely healthy. Now that we have discussed about problems, let us also look at the solutions. Now, one of the key solutions to improving your coconut tree health is to follow precision farming. What is precision farming? Let me state that in two golden rules. One, making sure the root zone of all the trees in this farm is maintained at an air-water balance condition that I explained earlier. Number two, while the air-water balance is being maintained, make sure the nutrition that the plant needs are given on time at the right quantity. And if you're able to do these two, then you are actually doing a good precision farming. Now, irrigation plays a vital role. You have to have the right drip irrigation methodologies. We have discussed that at length in different videos. And particularly we promote subsurface irrigation, so that the water that you supply to the plants are actually given right to the roots, and there is no water evaporating from the topsoil. And making sure the high pressure based irrigation is designed properly with Irrigate software and implemented based on that. And if you do all of these, your irrigation can be corrected and you can ensure the air-water balance at the root zone is absolutely maintained. Then let us look at also the fertigation. I talked about genetic potential. Let's say if this tree has about 200, 220 nuts as its genetic capacity, then it is very important for us to actually take soil test and water test and figure out what the soil has and what the water has, and then recalculate the nutrition requirement for this plant and apply that absolutely. There are a lot of people still applying granular fertilizers, and also some people apply through venturi. So what happens when you apply as granular? I mean, at best what we will do, dig here and there and apply the fertilizers underneath. But remember, all these are chemicals. Even water is chemical molecule, H2O. So everything is chemical at the end of the day. So when a chemical is dumped into the soil and you think it has to last for about 3 months to 6 months, it is not going to happen, because that chemical is going to react with the other chemical that is already in the soil and is going to turn into something else. So it is not going to remain a fertilizer as you thought. What is the issue with the venturi? When you apply fertilizers through venturi, you are basically choking the pipeline, creating a low pressure at the delivery side. When you create a low pressure, how is the fertilizer going to actually get distributed to all the trees evenly, uniformly? Not possible, right? Simple thinking. So we have an issue with nutrition management. and that needs to be corrected. How do you correct it? Which is where you will actually need a technology to play a vital role. Now, let me also give you a quick explanation about how Grotron can help in both of these, irrigation and nutrition management. Basically, Grotron uses sensors. It measures soil moisture, soil temperature, ambient relative humidity, temperature, and pulls a lot of other data from the weather APIs. And it uses its artificial intelligence engine and tries to predict when the soil, if it is in a good condition now, the air-water balance is perfect now, uh, at what time is the air-water balance likely to skid away? Or in other words, when is it likely to dry? And once that time is identified, let's say it is sometime tomorrow at 11 in the morning, the secondary model, AA model, will try to predict, if I don't want the soil to dry up at 11 in the morning tomorrow, when and how long should an irrigation be administered? And all this is done by all the weather data and the past irrigation history, soil data, all of that. And the secondary model, let's say, is predicting tomorrow at about 8 o'clock in the morning for 25 minutes. Then what will happen is the valve that is responsible to supply water to this place will turn on at 8 in the morning. The pump will automatically turn on at 8 in the morning, and the irrigation will be done for 25 minutes. And during this 25 minutes, if there is any nutrition to be also supplied, that will also be done automatically, guaranteeing air-water balance and the right nutrition while the air-water balance is being maintained. Now, by maintaining this kind of right air-water balance and proper nutrition management, what we are basically doing is giving plants the best comfort and making them healthy, much healthier than how they are now. And once the plants are healthy, like I said, they are going to develop a lot of immunity and reasonably be able to resist against pests and absolutely resistance against diseases. We also talked about farms not having enough pollinating agents. One of the simplest ways to solve that is to have honeybees. You can get it, it is all over there. Maybe for 10 acres, just 3 or 4 honeycombs should be good enough. And they can do a magical job of pollination. If you have a bunch with, let's say, 30 nuts, most likely these pollinating agents can ensure these female nuts don't fall off, because which is a common sight you see otherwise without the right amount of pollinating agents. So, by doing all of these, you are going to make sure your plants are healthy. Healthy plants are going to retain more nuts, and they are going to give you income. And by doing this, you may increase your farm income from, let's say, about 1.2 lakh an acre a year to somewhere around 3.5 to 4 lakhs an acre. That's a possibility. But remember, coconut farms are true gold mines. Why are they true gold mines? Look at the spacing. You have trees about 25-27 feet apart, and there is a lot of sunlight still falling in, which means you have a potential to plant more crops and make this farm more productive. Depending on the region where you are from, if it is an extreme place, you may be able to still do banana, and in places that have good climatic uh, conditions, you can have nutmeg, cocoa, coffee, a lot of different types of intercropping, including areca, pepper. And by choosing a very careful method of intercropping, you can increase your farm income from 3.5 to 4 lakhs with just pure coconuts to even around 15 to 20 lakhs per acre per year. In order for you to correct a farm which is like this, obviously that requires money to be spent. There is good amount of money to be invested. A lot of people are already spending money into the farm from their other businesses. I know a lot of them in that category. But um, seldom people actually manage their farms like a business. What do I mean by running a farm as a business? In a real business, people borrow money and use that money to develop their business. And if they borrow for, let's say, 12% interest rate, and if they're able to generate 20% income with that money, then they have 8% profit, right? That's how business people look at their businesses. And if you can look at your farm in the similar fashion, then there are tools that can be utilized. And one of the key tool for that is Agriculture Infrastructure Fund that is floated by the government. and that gives you the ability to borrow up to 2 crores from any bank, guaranteed by the government, and you can use this money to actually develop your farm, improve your farm first, improve the productivity, make income, and then repay, because this scheme comes with a maximum of 2 years moratorium, and very importantly, this loan comes with an interest rate of just 6%. Nowhere else in India can you get loans at 6% interest rate. And many people think this AAF or Agri Infra Fund is only for polyhouses. No, it is for any farm development with precision farming. That is key. You won't get this funds for drip irrigation. You won't get this fund just for simple development with even the best drip irrigation. You got to have precision farming. Um, Grotron, as you know, is a precision farming technology. So, for you to actually improve your farm with Grotron, you will be able to utilize these funds very effectively. I hope this video was useful to you, and if you have any further questions, please comment. Our team will get back to you. And not just that, we have a good team, technically knowledgeable, that is willing to help you 24/7. Do call us if you have any questions about this, if you want to get into precision farming implementation. And if you also think this video could be of help to some of your friends, do like and share, and also subscribe to get notified of the next important videos that we are going to publish.